Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being with us today. And the gentleman I'm going to be speaking with today needs no introduction. I kind of have to introduce him anyway. So he is not only one of the early YouTube celebrities from the mid-2000s, from the heyday of when YouTube was still gaining its feet, but he is one whose popularity, consistency, and quality has endured for over a decade-long online career. He's a filmmaker, he's a writer, he's an animator, an actor. He's fulfilled just about every role you can on film and web content, but you best know him, of course, as the angry video game nerd. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Nickel City Con stage, Mr. James Rolfe.
Yo!
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing?
All right, so, James, we're going to talk a little bit. I'm going to ask you some stuff, and then we're going to give the fans out here an opportunity to ask you some stuff. We're enjoying some 1.21 gigahop.
Yes.
From our Resurgence Brewery, local brewery. James wanted to try out the local stuff.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
This is not a sponsorship in any way. I love the name, 1.21 gigahops.
Yes.
Typically don't like hoppy beers. This is not bad, though.
I'm with you on that. It's a nice surprise.
I would like to know if Christopher Lloyd's ever tried it.
Oh.
I don't know if he drinks,
That's a good
but,
question.
you know.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me. It seems like it makes sense. So thank you so much for coming to Buffalo.
Sure.
And I understand this is your first time here.
Yeah, it's my first time actually stopping in the city. I've driven through to Toronto before.
Okay.
That's how most of us got here.
Okay, yeah, that's how we all came from somewhere. We just ran out of gas in Buffalo. Also, before we go on, I'd just like to congratulate you on the fact that you and your wife are expecting your second child.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely. Very exciting, so congratulations on that.
Oh, thanks.
And so let's get down to it a little bit, and I'll start with an Angry Nerd related question. Kind of an obvious one, but I want to be specific about the way I ask it here. So I want to ask about kind of some of the worst stuff you've played, but not so much entertainingly bad games, but actually just gratingly kind of awful to sit through games. So less Plan 9 from Outer Space bad, more Mono's Hands of Fate bad. Like, it's just actually unpleasant.
Yeah.
Like, Sunday Funday looked extraordinarily annoying to play through. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I still remember it being playable, at least.
Oh, yeah?
If you push right, it goes right. If you push left, it goes left. See, my standards are very low.
Plumbers don't wear ties as well. That seems like at every level it doesn't function.
It's not even a game.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, like a DVD menu. So, the angry video game nerd himself, your character, he's had a long-running web series. He has licensed official video games as well as fan-made stuff. He has a movie. I'm curious if there are any new frontiers in media that you've considered for your character. Any, new kinds of merchandise, and major evolutions to the web series, VR games?
Virtual reality nerd game?
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
It's not a serious suggestion.
No,
but
it's
No, it's a neat idea.
Any media.
just any kind of new avenues for the character to
So we've
explore.
done
Comics.
I would love to do comics. There you go. That's a good one. Because that's what I started that way. Like, I started wanting to just like write stories and illustrate them in comic book form. But then I decided, like, okay, you know what? Maybe I'll do it as animation instead. That way I can put my voice on it and do all this. And then animation was very tedious. And then I was like, well, maybe I'll do film instead. And I did that. And no matter what, it's going to be work. But film seemed to be my favorite because I don't know. It's like it forces you into being social. It forces you into like meeting new people and working with lots of people. You know, you have actors and you have composers. You have people doing music. You have it's such a collaboration.
True. Yeah.
But still, I find myself probably going. I keep thinking about doing something animated, and the future.
Yeah.
So I want to go back to that. So even though I've been in film for so long, I still think that I could go back into animation, or I don't know, like just give away some of my ideas for somebody else to draw them as a comic book.
For sure, that would be a really good idea, and that's a good way to incorporate some of the history of Cinemassacre stuff. That's how you bring back Shit Pickle. That's how you bring back Monkey Cheese. Monkey Cheese fans? Monkey Cheese!
Monkey cheese!
All right, so outside of Angry Nerd stuff, gaming in general, your personal gaming, I'm curious if there are any game series, old or new, that you've been really interested in getting into, but you just haven't been able to. Like, given if you had the time to really explore a couple game franchises for yourself, what do you think you'd be interested in?
Like something I've never played.
Yeah, I've played very little of, or...
Okay, like a complete franchise that I've never played.
Yeah, like what would you really what franchise really attracts you on a personal level?
I mean, I never really know if I'll like something until I play it. But the ones that have attracted me, that I haven't really played a lot of, maybe Resident Evil. That's like the first thing that comes to mind. Now I can't say that I've never played it. I've played the first 2 games. And I've watched my roommates play the 3rd game for, many nights.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like maybe there's something, because I like horror stuff, so it might really work. I really had a difficult time with the controls of those early games.
You have to be at peace with those old tank controls.
Yeah.
Don't you? Yeah. So, although you could always start with one of the newer games. Resident Evil 7 is kind of a fresh reboot, kind of a Texas Chainsaw Massacre influenced, so I'm sure you might find a lot to like there. But anyway.
Cool.
Yeah, so, alright, so Cinemassacre as a whole. I've noticed some exciting things happening with the content you've been putting out lately. I know there have been a lot of changes over the years in terms of your workflow. You used to put out as many as like 2 nerd episodes a month. Then you were putting out content while making the Angry Nerd movie, and now you've moved past that. Now you've actually kind of like put to rest Monster Madness, which we all love, but I understand is very intensive to keep up with. And I feel like that's been reflected in the content you've been putting out, like new techniques you've been introducing, like inserting yourself into Sonic 06, which is who wouldn't want to do that, and just being able to make videos about just random interesting ideas like the Mandela effect and things like that. Are there any other kind of either new methods for the nerd videos or even new types of videos, new series that you could see coming out of this less strict workflow you have?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's very, very tight schedule, so it's like, I mean, my entire year is scheduled. Like I schedule every year of like, it's very hard to predict how long a video takes to make, but I mean, after all these years, I've gotten as close to knowing as you can. So I'm like, okay, this week I'm working on this video, and this week I'm working on this video, and also thinking about like what gets done and then what gets released. So, so there's we plan it so okay, every Monday we have a game video. We have a James and Mike Monday. And that's been going on for years.
That's amazing. I can't believe you've been keeping that running consistently every Monday.
I can't either. I can't either, and I'm surprised. But every Friday this year so far, I've been putting out some kind of movie review. Some kind of review or topic. Now I'm putting out something really soon called Playlist Junkie, and it's about music. So it's just like, hey, like it's as basic can be. It's just me with a list of songs and like, hey, here's some cool classic rock and metal tracks that you should check out, and that's it.
That's really cool. That's really exciting. And I'm assuming there's a new nerd episode in the works at the moment.
Yeah, looking at games right now.
Any spoilers you can give us about that? Buffalo folks.
There's nothing to spoil yet. I haven't picked a game yet.
Okay.
I've been playing some.
Speaking of the movie reviews, one great thing that I've really loved is when you do franchise retrospectives, especially when you did a King Kong retrospective in the lead up to Kong Skull Island. Are there any more of those planned for this year?
Yeah, I mean, whatever. I'll spill the beans. I have like 3 days on my calendar, 3 days to do something with Planet of the Apes.
Oh,
I was like, there's a new movie coming out. I'm like, all right, well, has there ever been a standalone review of Planet of the Apes on Cinemassacre. And like I have to get something out there, even if it's like a 5-minute video and very basic. Like still, I'm gonna do something with it.
Yeah.
As far as like Power Rangers, that was like a month-long project.
Yeah. That seemed to, but it seemed like there was a lot of like it seemed like genuinely that was something you discovered that you didn't know why you weren't into it before. So as a result, like the nerd episode was really elaborate and really you had all the different breeds of nerd for the PlayStation and the Tiger Electronic wrist game nerd all uniting to form the video game nerd and so that was great to see as well.
Oh, cool. Yeah, sometimes you have to choose between like, all right, like, am I going to do something that I already know? Because that's the easiest thing to do is like, I just need to like, a lot of times I just do videos based on things that I already know. And Power Rangers was an instance where I decided, let me just do myself a favor and like learn about something that I've always wanted to know something about, but never did.
Yeah.
That's something I wished I watched as a kid instead of now.
Yeah. So that's how the whole wave of Power Rangers content came about. And actually, speaking of Kong Skull Island, I know you have a deep love for both King Kong and Godzilla. Do you feel like in the upcoming remake of Kong vs. Godzilla that there is one you might root for over the other? Like the American versions of these monsters that we have?
One that might
who would you in the Kong vs. Godzilla movie that's coming out in a couple of years? Like who is there somebody you want to win? If there's one character whose corner you had to get behind?
Oh, okay. I mean, it seems like the thing nowadays. Usually nobody wins.
Yeah.
I guess Batman versus Superman. Batman
did
win though.
He kind of did, yeah. But it has like they did unite against the common enemy thing. But it did actually have a definitive winner, which I really hope is something they have the stones to do in the new one, because I feel like we've been with a lot of the superhero movies. I feel like in team ups, I feel like we have seen a lot at odds, and then they unite to so.
Yeah.
But Kong versus Godzilla. Stop evading the question.
Because I remember, let's see, seeing the first one, I remember wanting Godzilla to win. And then, not really caring, but still just being like, I want Godzilla to kick ass. But then King Kong won me over as the movie went
The new
on.
movie, you're saying?
Well, the only one that had it.
Okay.
Yeah, but, so this one, I'd like to go into it with the same feeling. Like, let me just see which monster is going to win me over instead of...
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. It's interesting. I'll accept that answer. Are there any, actually on the topic of newer movies, are there any newer movies that you have seen and have liked and haven't really talked about as much, haven't made any videos about? I think you've mentioned maybe wanting to like cover more like the Oscar-nominated movies, except for other than like the big franchise movies. Are there any that you saw like this past year that you liked and didn't have really spoken about?
Oscar-winning movies,
or just in general, just any movies you haven't really talked about in your channel.
I mean, because like the movies I talk about are like movies that are steeped in some kind of retro franchise, where it's like it's usually an action movie or science fiction movie or horror movie. I don't think you're really going to see me talking about any other movies I've seen, but like, I really liked Wolf of Wall Street.
Okay.
I like Birdman.
Birdman was great.
Yeah, but like, I'm not going to, I don't really feel like there's enough, I do things that are more in like pop culture, so I just don't really usually I don't really get near that.
Yeah. They kind of, your audience isn't as much interested in that kind of a thing.
I mean, it wouldn't hurt if I did, but it's just not really what I think.
Like you said, you only have so much time. I guess, every month, every year, so that makes sense. So, on the topic of your movies, and the Angry Video Game Nerd movie was a wonderful, incredible triumph. Me and my friends, we all loved it. And I've heard you mention now and again about potential movies you might do down the line. I heard about, if an Angry Nerd movie 2 happens, that it could involve the Atari Sword Quest games. Is that true?
If there was,
because that's a brilliant idea that I never occurred to me. That would be great for like another urban legend thing.
Yeah, no, that would be perfect. But I mean, even when we did that one, we even shot an ending to it, the original ending. We cut a lot out of the movie, but we cut the original ending. It has Dr. Xander comes up to me and he says like, oh, well, if you want to find the Ark of the Covenant, you know which game to play. So it was going to be like, because we had a Howard Scott Warshaw involved with the ET game, we're going to do the Raiders of the Lost Ark game next. And then I started thinking, well, it should be Sword Quest. And now I'm just thinking, well, that was 8 years of my life making one movie.
Yes.
And if I'm gonna do it again, it's got to be like even more epic. It's got to be like even crazier. And that one was just like, it was like an impossible movie to make, and we just barely made it. And now it's like thinking about trying to make a second one, and now I have 2 kids. It's just not possible.
Yeah.
So the next movie is going to be something completely different. I like to make a classic horror film, like, you know, a horror film with a classic feel to it.
Yeah.
One that's all about the mood, not so much about action and gore.
Kind of cat people-ish, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, something where, very minimal horror film, Something where, like, something with not as many locations, something that takes place inside of one room or something.
Yeah.
Maybe not one room, but like less than what we have in the Nerd movie. We had about like 80 something locations. I don't even know. I have no count of how many places we've been.
Any idea like when that might happen? Is that still pretty far on the horizon?
It's. I mean, I've been trying to write on like every measly minute that I have, so pretty much there's no time right now to work on it, because the priority is keeping up with the web series, just keeping steady content coming out on the channel. So I've just been doing that for now.
So you feel like kind of keeping up with that core Cinemassacre content, it does kind of keep you from doing some other stuff you might want to do sometimes?
Oh, well, it always does, but you know, I have to keep up with the channel, and it's just you know, just a fact, you know.
Yeah.
And I like doing it. I wish I could do everything. That's the problem. I wish I could do everything if I had the time.
So on that, actually, you've said before that kind of whatever you're doing in life, you always want to be creating some kind of art, and that's, you know, really manifest in your films and your videos. If you weren't doing that, what other kind of art would you be doing if you weren't making films or weren't making videos? I understand. Are you a drummer? Music?
Guitar, bass.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, maybe if I focused on one, I'd get good at it.
Is that what you think you would do if you weren't making videos? You would be pursuing music?
I probably would, honestly. I mean, if I had the focus to do that, I probably would. I mean, but for now, it's just a hobby, and it's just something that playing instruments enhances my appreciation of music. So when you're listening to music and you hear it and you're thinking like, oh, I know what they're doing there. I can see that. That's pretty impressive. You know, it really does make me enjoy music more by playing it.
Okay, absolutely, yeah. So, for Cinemassacre, all that you kind of regularly do as part of it, you make Angry Nerd episodes, you make other videos, you give interviews, you make appearances and meet fans like what you're doing now. Out of everything that goes into making this all happen, what's your favorite part of it?
Favorite process?
Just in like, do you like just putting out the creative content more? Do you like meeting fans more, or like what is just the one thing that you just tend to get a lot out of?
I mean, it's all the same thing to me. You know, it's like writing it, shooting it, editing it, and exhibiting it, and then hearing feedback. Like it's all kind of like one cycle. So I like doing everything.
That's a good way to think of it.
Yeah.
We are there any people out there that want to ask this man a question? Yeah? We got a few? Okay, so we are gonna, if you guys want to start lining up, we're gonna do a little Q&A here in a few minutes. And if you guys, whenever you're ready, just start lining up at this mic right here. And just make your way over, and as we give them a minute to come up.
I like this couch setup, by the way.
Yeah, this is very nice. Isn't
I've
it?
never had this here at a con. This is great. It just feels like you're in the living room.
We should all.
Yeah, I got beers. I never get beer at a Q&A. What the hell? Yeah.
All right. Well, people are here. This is a lot faster than I expected. So let us hear from this gentleman right here in the purple shirt and the matching purple wristband. He's my friend. It's okay. All right. I cannot hear it. There's a switch.
Just yell.
Use your outside voice.
Here, want to use my mic real quick?
Remember when you were making fun of him and his mic before?
Yes, I was making fun.
Aha.
I'm former musician. Should be on.
Here, use mine.
Thanks. Thanks so much for coming. It's really cool that you came by, and it's always fun to see someone. I actually had two really quick questions. First, was there ever a game that you reviewed that after you went through it, you thought, man, I don't even want to review this one, I actually like it?
Like where I abandoned the review altogether because like it just wasn't bad.
Yeah, that's, even if you didn't abandon it, you thought, I didn't really want to put this one out because I actually really enjoyed this game.
But only like ones where I was like actually working on it.
Yeah,
Where I started, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm trying to think. None that I can remember off the top of my head right now. Because usually I cancel it before I start actually working on it. I mean, there's ones I look back on. Like I remember McKids. That was one where it was like, oh man, it's actually not that bad. I was like, oh, it's a McDonald's game. This is gonna be bad. And then I played it and did the review, and I was like, okay, this isn't really as bad, but I'm gonna go with it anyway. But of course, that video still came out and it was done. I always look back at that one as like, okay, I could have picked something better or something worse. I mean, yeah, sorry, I can't really think of much.
Real quick for the second one, I have a 3-year-old and I'm expecting another child as well. If you could equate any of your, it's not necessary. If you could equate raising a child to playing one of your games, what would the comparison be for you?
I can relate. Like what game would it be? Like what level of challenge?
Yeah, like what level of challenge would it be?
The first thing that just keeps coming to my mind now is Super Mario 3D World, because that's my daughter's first game really, because she's really into that game.
Nice.
And like, you know, like I'd find all kinds of things to do with her, and then like one day I just popped in that game and like she like really like latched onto it. Now we play it every night and we're almost complete. Like we almost got like every green star, every stamp, every single thing you could do in the game. So we're working on completing that game, and that's what I think of. Because I mean, the game itself is kind of like, where it's like really challenging, but it's fun.
All right, thanks.
Hello again.
Hey.
Is this working now? Testing. Cool. I would like to say thank you again for coming to our city. I know I met you earlier upstairs, and the question I actually want to get to is about your character, the Angry Video Game Nerd. Looking back at it, do you recognize any criticism that you got from the Angry Video Game Nerd character? Like, you know, the character's kind of like vulgar and angry a lot, always throwing stuff around. Does anyone give you some negative feedback because of that?
Because of the cursing?
Well, not just the cursing, but your overall character. Like, is there any negative any negative feedback due to the fact that people didn't like your character? Is there any criticism for that?
Are you talking about like current or like anything?
Like anytime, like even if it's before or current. It's like just remember your biggest criticism that you got from the Angry Video Game Nerd character.
Let's see. I'll try to give you a past answer and a present answer. I think the past answer, I think when it first came out, I think a lot of people just didn't know it was a character, and like they just thought it was just real and everything. And I think at first I was like, oh, they don't get it. It's a character. Then I had to stop and say to myself, wait, that's the best thing ever. You just convinced people that it was real. Like, you know, like I was like, wow, okay, that's mission accomplished then, you know. And then present, I mean, I've heard it all at this point. It's just like, oh, he's too angry, or he's not angry enough. It's like, if you, like, which is it, you know? So if you listen to anything, like, you wouldn't even know what to do. Like, your head would spin if you were actually trying to, like, appease every single person, because then there would be no direction for the series whatsoever, or anything. So really, when it boils down, you just gotta do what you feel right yourself.
Thank you so much, sir.
Sure.
Okay, my question does not have to do with video games at the moment, but if you could give your childhood self advice, what would it be and why?
What would be the advice I'd give to myself? Like if I were talking to my young self right now, like my young self would be thinking like, oh, I just want to make movies and I want to be a Hollywood director. What do I have to do to make that happen? And you know, always dreaming about that and thinking about it. But what I want to say to my young self is, you're already there. Like, if you're making movies, like, you know, on your free time or doing whatever it is you want to do, like, as long as you're doing what you like to do, you're already there.
Thank you.
Thanks. Hey.
Hi. Big fan. So, I kind of wanted to ask you, like, back in like 2006, 2007, when you were first starting out, like what was kind of the landscape of the internet at the time and just like media, and if I could tack on something else to that, what would you say are your influences?
Oh, okay. I'll go with the influences first. People, just like other artists, or?
Yeah, like just TV shows or whatever you watch.
Oh, okay, like shows itself, or like movies?
TV shows, people, like, you know.
Yeah. With people, I remember the person who pretty much inspired me to pursue making movies was Robert Rodriguez, because he wrote a book called Rebel Without a Crew, and that book I remember made me feel really confident, because his book was all about just be resourceful, use what you have, and you know, as the moment you say you want to be a movie director, then you're already a movie director. That was his way of, you know, of saying it. And then there's also Lloyd Kaufman's book, and that was like the other side of the spectrum, where his was really pessimistic, where he was just putting himself down the whole book. He's written a bunch of them. The first one, which I was talking about, was called All I Learned About Filmmaking, I Learned from the Toxic Avenger. Is a long title, but that book, it was hilarious for one thing, but it also had the same inspiring effect at the end. And then as far as individual movies, individual works and everything, I actually just did a two-part video, the top 50 favorite films, so those would all be in there. So there's not really one I could pick. It's all kind of like, you know, Mad Mad World, #1, King Kong, #2, I think Wizard of Oz was #3, but there's tons and tons of others. So yeah.
All right.
Thanks.
I have not a video game question, but more of a movie-based question. As a fan of film myself, and bad film specifically, I'm interested in what is the worst film you personally think you've ever seen? Not necessarily reviewed, ever actually seen, because I've definitely seen movies that cannot be reviewed.
Yeah. I don't know. There's this movie called Pigs, and it was like
I own it on VHS and DVD.
Oh, you do? Yeah. And I have to refresh my memory a bit, but it's like a guy like feeds people to the pigs.
Yeah, they're in the movie for about 5 minutes.
Yeah. So the pigs are in the movie very briefly, and I also remember, at least the version I saw was very dark. Yeah.
There's at least 25 minutes to a half an hour of that film you just can't see. It's just voices. It's a radio. It's voices speaking from a black box.
It's completely dark. and as far as like you know, mainstream films that were like on the radar that I actually remember coming out in theaters. There was a movie called Baby's Day Out, and I remember. Has anybody seen it?
Oh,
yeah. I'm sorry.
It's the worst guy in a gorilla suit like ever.
Yeah. I mean, I don't remember anything about it. I just remember when I saw it, because at that age, I pretty much accepted whatever bullshit I saw. But when I saw that, I was like, this is shit.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
You mind if I record this?
Is that all right?
Yes.
Engage.
So, my significant other of about 2 years, he really wanted to come see this, but he's at work, so that couldn't happen. He wanted me to ask a question. If everyone in the world turned into chicken nuggets, what would you do?
If you've gotten this question too many times, you don't have to answer.
I get this one all the time. No, I mean, it sounds very edible, but the idea of eating people is very horrific. It's a very disturbing question, I would say. So yeah, I don't know.
Thank you.
Sorry to disappoint, this question is about chicken nuggets. So this is kind of a two-part question. I've noticed that you've been starting to do a lot of collaborative work. I've just seen you do some stuff with the Nostalgia Critic. You did like their review of Turtles, which I thought was awesome. And you did, I forgot the name. I just saw last night where you reviewed the new Mario trailer, like Mystery Science Theater 3000 style. So two-part question is your feud with the Nostalgia Critic. Did he start that, or was that collaborative, or he kind of starting to roll with it, or what was it with that?
Well, that motherfucker started it.
So he started, you just went with it was all cool and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, how it actually started. I think. Well, he did it's so far back, it's hard for me to remember now. But I think he did the first video where it was just like, it was really funny. I remember that, and it was basically like, people are comparing me to you, angry video game nerd, and like he was basically like a rant against my character, and it was really funny. And I had already been watching some of his videos before that, so we had already seen it. And then I think he emailed me right after that and was like, oh, I hope you like that. I was just so you know, it wasn't serious right now. I'm like, oh, I know. And then we started talking about like doing like a follow-up. He's like, I would totally love it if you did something back to me. And I was like, okay, well, I'll think about it. Maybe I'll do that. And then I did one back to him, and it's, all good humor. And we kept doing that back and forth. And then, we talked on the phone about it. We're like, hey, why don't we do like a thing where we like meet up and we have like a battle and everything? And because we were thinking of like, what was the wrestler that Andy Kaufman had that whole feud with? Jerry Lawler. Yeah, so like we were thinking of something like that, where it's like this big mock feud. We're like, let's see how far we can take it. And I don't think anything on the internet had been done like that yet. It was sort of like, I don't know, just like an unprecedented thing of two internet personalities having like a feud. So it was a lot of fun. And still to this day, Doug and I, we meet up every now and then, like maybe like once a year at least, maybe 2 times a year, film things, and always have lots of fun.
Nice, I like that. So the scene in the store when he comes to confront you, did you know he was going to do that?
Yeah, I did. I mean, I'd like to it'd be like a surprise, but I guess it was like years and years ago. But yeah, I knew he was coming in the store. And then we were actually filming the battle like that same weekend when he was there. So the videos were kind of spaced out, but we had sort of like a set amount of steps. Like, first this is going to happen, and then that's going to happen, and then it all culminates in this final battle in the nerd room.
I got it. So here's the last part of my question. Thank you for entertaining always. So I said, I seen you do, and I hate not giving them credit, but you just did like a Mystery Science Theater 3000 kind of like review for like that new Mario game.
Yeah.
Which I thought that was awesome. You've obviously done something nostalgic, right? Do you have any more collaborative works with other personalities down the pipeline? Because I think that's some of your best work.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, I hope so. Right now, there's nothing slated. But hopefully sometime, yeah.
All right, thank you.
Hi.
Hey.
Well, I had a question about YouTube. Me and my friend over there, we have a YouTube channel, and I wanted to know if you had any advice for us being a successful channel yourself.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm glad you asked me. But I'm not really sure because it's so different now. YouTube is so different today than it was years and years ago. So I'm not really sure what that's like now. But the thing that I've learned over my entire life is persistence. So, like before YouTube even existed, it was just constantly it was just persistence, just always working at something. So, as long as you like it, as long as you like what you're doing, then it'll get seen eventually.
All right, well, thank you.
Yeah, it can take a long time, but it can happen, yeah.
Yeah, I'll accept that answer. I know you don't want the competition, so.
We'll be doing a feud someday.
Geez, a lot of short people here. First, I want to thank you for coming here. Like I said, Rochesterans, some of us are here too. We love you, including Buffalo. My question is, how many times have you and Mike actually hit each other? I know you guys said it once in one of your videos. How many times have you actually hit each other in those videos?
Oh, like when we're choreographing the fights and everything?
Yeah, where there's actually physical contact.
Yeah, because we're not like action stars or anything. But
oh yeah, we figured that out.
But when we do that type of thing, like with no choreography experience or anything, we've done pretty well for the most part for what we're doing. But there are times when we'd accidentally hit each other. It doesn't happen that much. Like usually we're pretty good with it. But there is one time that we always talk about in the Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle episode where he punches me like right in the jaw and I got knocked out for like a second.
He knocked you out?
Yeah, and like I was like, wow, I didn't know you get knocked out for getting hit in the jaw. And like one of my friends who used to box before, and he was like, oh yeah, you can get knocked out in the jaw. It's pretty common. I'm like, oh, okay, all right, well that explains it then. Because I'm like, I thought you just get hit in the head and that's it. But no, you can get hit in the jaw and it can put you out. And Mike felt like really bad about it and everything, but like we just kept going on. I had like about 15 minutes. I had to sit there, and after that, I'm like, all right, we're good. Let's keep going now.
All right, cool. Next time you come back, bring Mike.
All right, yeah.
Hey, okay. I was thinking about asking who's Mother, but there was another series that I remember that was pretty. It was relatively. It was relatively small, but I do remember it. You Know What's BS? That one. Is there any future for that show, or
for the episode?
Yeah, any more episodes?
I hope. There's nothing scheduled right now. Like the entire year is just like booked every single day. But I'm trying to find time. So I'm trying to figure out some way to bring back. It's bullshit. Because I mean they're pretty involved to do those because you have to get lots of images. But I mean they're short also, so they're not the hardest videos. But I like to try to do like a few of them in a row as opposed to just one, because then it's just like, hey, it's bullshit, shoelaces, and then that's it. It's just like, I like when there's sort of like a few in a row. So I hope maybe, just maybe by the end of the year there's some more, What's BS.
If you need an idea, single-ply toilet paper.
Single what toilet paper?
Single-ply toilet paper. That's gonna be.
You have to double it up anyway.
What is that?
Like a really thin toilet paper.
Oh, I know what you mean. So you get toilet paper in different Yeah, I know. Some toilet paper really sucks. Yeah.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Hi.
just want to say thanks for coming here, obviously, and then thanks for all your videos. My friends and I have watched them for a few years now, and you brought us more laughs than I can count, so thank you for that. And my question is, have you ever thought of reviewing, or I don't know if it's ever been on your thought bubble, but reviewing Pac-Man 2, The New Adventures?
I've been told about for what Mike and I did play it once. When we were auditioning videos, sometimes he comes over, he helps me, and we're playing games and trying to see what might work. We looked at it once, and we're like, okay, I mean, maybe. But then I forget when that was, because then I ended up doing something else. So maybe at some point I'll look at it again and see if I find anything else in it.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Hey, thanks for coming. This is not a serious question at all, but what would you do if all the teeth in your mouth turned into fingers?
All right, what is in this Geekiverse here? What is with this Buffalo crowd?
I don't see any advantage of it. You could as easily.
You have to clip all those fingernails in there, right?
Oh, yeah. So do you really gotta keep doing that? Yes, I don't know. I think it'd be bad. It's bad news. That's what I think.
I was actually told to ask you that question. That actually wasn't on my mind.
How's it going today?
Hey.
Heard you talking about you like rock and roll, heavy metal music. Just wondering what some of your favorite
Pantera.
bands are, yeah. And given the recent death of Chris Cornell, wondering maybe you were into his music or.
Yeah, I am completely shocked.
Yeah, it took me aback.
Yeah, I mean, still really, I'm just getting over it right now. I'm just like, what the fuck? Yeah, I mean, what can you say?
Yeah. But so any other bands, name off that you listen to, Iron Maiden maybe, or.
Mm-hmm. Oh, just list off some bands?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, I like Maiden and Priest are two of my favorites.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
That's awesome.
We have Priest tattoos. Nice.
Can't go wrong there, man.
Yeah. Black Sabbath, I think, is my favorite band. They're always the one I come back to every now and then.
Can't go wrong with the originals, man.
Yeah, the originals. But even before them, even The Who, anything in hard rock or metal, to me it's all rock. I like it all.
Too many labels, but.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Hey man, how you doing?
Hey.
Hey. Couple of things. One, thank you for everything you do. You are inspiration. It's just crazy to watch you do what you do.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for coming to Buffalo. It's great to see you. And 3, you ever think about doing any Elder Scrolls games or anything of that nature?
Oh, I'm not sure, to be honest, because I'm not really that familiar with them. Would you recommend them?
I would. I feel like they're right up your alley. And it's one of these days you're gonna do Morrowind or something. Not Morrowind because the combat sucks ass, but maybe Oblivion. It's starting to become a classic now. It's 20 years old or some shit. But I don't know. Something you would feel like doing?
Maybe. Yeah, well, thanks for bringing it up, though.
No worries.
Yeah. Maybe one day.
Thanks, man.
Hi, yeah.
Hey.
Can I get a crazy bus?
Crazy bus. Can you get a crazy bus? I don't remember actually. What was the context of it? What was the? I gotta do it accurate. If it's a quote, right?
Yeah, you just yelled crazy bus.
Oh, it's crazy bus. Crazy bus! Crazy bus!
Thank you.
Sure.
All right. Well,
I hear Penn and Teller are doing another desert bus.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez. Well, you're probably in part to thank for that. I would think.
Maybe. I heard they're looking for people to submit boring audio for the radio on the bus.
Glad to know that they're still in action. They're still doing it.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah. So, Well, we've gotten through the questions, thankfully, and so just to close out the panel, yeah, I'm sure you've heard this a lot, but it shouldn't be understated how influential your work and your story has been to a generation of creators and video game fans. And you know, over 10 years ago, you were pioneering the early days of YouTube. You were getting interviews with creators you admired, and you were pursuing your passion while making a living. And now there are countless chowderheads like myself who are doing the same thing, but we have you to look to for you know, guidance and inspiration and how that can be done and how these things can happen. I know that you've really just been endeavoring to follow your dreams, but you've enabled and inspired many people to follow theirs. I just want to make sure you're aware of that, and I feel that you've done so while providing consistent content, serving your audience, never, you know, alienating your fans or anything like that, and you've evolved your techniques, and you've always carried yourself with kind of decency and respect for others that I think is fantastic. And you know, we've seen that with certain YouTube personalities that can be a difficult thing to pull off. And so I just want to commend you for that. I want to congratulate you for all your years of success and all your years of success to come. And I just want to thank you for everything you've done for us. And thank you for coming to Buffalo. Thank you for speaking with us.